I'm 88 and I forget nothing. This 3-minute habit restored my memory. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? But what if I told you? It's real, and it's simpler than you think. No pills, no devices, just a quiet moment, a gentle breath, and a habit anyone can start today. Hi, I'm Dr. Samuel Hayes, and in today's video I want to share something that could change your life or the life of someone you love. If you've ever walked into a room and forgotten why, if you've ever misplaced your keys, missed an appointment, or struggled to find the right word, I need you to stay with me. Because what you're about to learn isn't just backed by science, it's backed by real lives, real stories, and real hope. And if you find this helpful, take a moment to share it with someone who might need it. You never know whose memory you might help bring back. Her name was Helen. 88 years old, widowed, living alone in a quiet home just outside Atlanta. She wasn't sick, she wasn't in pain. But something had shifted. When she came to me, her voice was gentle, but her eyes, they carried a quiet fear. "Doctor," she said, "I walked into my kitchen yesterday and stood there for 5 minutes. I couldn't remember why I came. I feel like I'm slowly fading." Helen wasn't losing her mind. She was just losing her connection to it, like many do after 60. Her memory wasn't broken, it was just silent. So I gave her one simple thing, a habit. 3 minutes a day. Sit, breathe, be still, no app, no pills, just presence. 2 weeks later, she called me. Her voice had energy I hadn't heard before. "Doctor," she laughed, "I remembered my daughter's birthday the whole day, on my own. No calendar, no reminder. That might sound small to some, but to Helen it was everything. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like a part of you is slipping away? Like you're forgetting not just names, but parts of who you are?" Helen's story isn't rare. It's just rarely told. But I want you to know, there's still time. Your brain is listening. Sometimes it just needs the right kind of whisper. So tell me in the comments, what's something you want to remember better? A face, a date, a feeling? Because this video might be the beginning of bringing it back. Part 1. The problem. Memory loss doesn't always begin with something big. It sneaks in quietly like a soft fog rolling across a familiar path. One day you forget where you placed your glasses. Another day, you walk into a room and stand there, puzzled, trying to remember why you came. At first, you brush it off. "I'm just tired," you say, or "it happens to everyone." But little by little, it builds. I remember one of my patients, Helen, telling me something I'll never forget. She said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm vanishing. Not all at once, just a little more each day." That hit me hard, because memory isn't just about facts or dates. It's about you, your story, your connections, your confidence. And when it begins to slip, so does a part of who you are. You start questioning yourself more. Did I already take my pill? Did I lock the front door? Did I repeat that story again? You try to laugh it off, but deep down, there's a quiet fear. You begin writing more things down, leaving sticky notes everywhere, depending on reminders, depending on others. And somewhere along the way, you stop trusting your mind. Let me ask you, have you ever had that moment when someone you love looks at you, confused because you forgot something important? Maybe a birthday, a promise, a story you used to tell perfectly. The pain isn't just in the forgetting, it's in how it makes them feel, and in how it makes you feel afterward. Helen once missed her grandson's school play. He had invited her days before, so excited, so proud. She promised she'd be there. But the day came, and she didn't show. She had simply forgotten. When her daughter called and asked, "Mom, where were you?" Helen's heart sank. She couldn't believe it. She couldn't explain it. And when she finally spoke to her grandson, his voice was quiet. Not angry, just different. That silence, she said, was the worst part. And the truth is, Helen's story is more common than you think. I've seen it in so many of my patients. I've seen it in neighbors, friends, even my own family. It doesn't always show up as something dramatic. It shows up in everyday moments, in conversations that trail off, in words that feel stuck on the tip of your tongue, in that growing feeling that your brain just isn't as sharp as it used to be. Now let me be clear, aging does change the brain. That's natural. But memory loss is not something you have to just accept. It's not normal to lose your sense of self. It's not inevitable to forget the people, places, and memories that once lit up your life. And you don't have to give up hope. That's where the danger lies, not in the forgetting itself, but in the belief that there's nothing you can do about it. I've heard so many older adults say things like, "I guess this is just how it goes," or "It's too late for me." But let me tell you something, it's not. There's a difference between aging with memory and aging without it. And the first step to protecting your memory is understanding that it's still yours, that your mind still listens, still learns, still responds, even after 70, 80, or 90. The real problem isn't just memory decline. It's how silently it takes root in your daily life. You fall into the same routine. You stop learning new things. You avoid conversations because you're afraid of losing your words. You stay quiet at the dinner table. You nod, even when you didn't quite understand what was said. And little by little, you pull back from people, from activities, from life. That's not just memory loss. That's a slow fading of the self. So let me ask you directly, when was the last time you truly felt present in your day? When was the last time you had a full conversation without second-guessing yourself? When was the last time you trusted your memory? If it's been a while, you're not alone. But that doesn't mean nothing can be done. In fact, this video exists for that exact reason, to offer you a path back, a gentle one, a science-backed one. And it all starts with something you might not expect. Something you already do every day. You breathe. That's right. In the next part of this video, I'll share a simple habit, just 3 minutes a day, that helped Helen reclaim her memory and confidence. No medication, no devices, just a moment of attention and a willingness to begin again. But before we move forward, I'd love to hear from you. What's something you used to remember so easily, but now slips away? Is it a loved one's birthday? A special recipe? The name of a song from your youth? Leave it in the comments below, because just sharing it might be the first step to bringing it back. And now, let's explore the habit that changed everything. Part 2, the habit. Helen's transformation didn't begin with a pill, or a book, or even a doctor's appointment. It began one morning at 5:50 a.m. in complete silence, with nothing but the sound of her breath. She sat at the edge of her bed, placed her feet flat on the floor, closed her eyes, and started breathing. Deeply, slowly, no goal, no timer, just breath. At first it felt strange. She said, "I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I had to do something." And that small decision, to be still and aware, became the beginning of something much bigger. The habit was simple. 3 minutes every morning of slow, intentional breathing. No phone, no distractions, just quiet focus. A moment of calm before the day began. Why just 3 minutes? Because consistency matters more than intensity. At 88 years old, Helen didn't need a complicated regimen. She needed something she could repeat. Something gentle. Something that honored where she was in life. And 3 minutes of calm breathing was perfect. Within 1 week, she noticed she was less tense. Her shoulders didn't rise as high, her heart didn't race as easily. She described it as mental space, like she had more room in her mind to think clearly. And her mornings no longer felt rushed or chaotic. By the second week, something else changed. Her memory began improving. Not dramatically at first, but noticeably. She remembered where she placed her reading glasses. She recalled details from a conversation the day before. She even surprised her daughter by asking how her job interview went, something she had forgotten entirely just weeks prior. Now let's be clear. Breathing alone isn't a cure-all. But what it does do is restore balance to your nervous system. It gently lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. It brings more oxygen to the brain. And it activates your body's natural rhythm of alertness and calm, what scientists call the parasympathetic response. And here's something fascinating. Helen didn't even need to change her lifestyle. She didn't need supplements. She didn't need special brain games or expensive programs. All she needed was to show up for herself every morning. 3 minutes. Same place. Same breath. Let me ask you, when was the last time you gave yourself just 3 minutes apiece? Not to fix anything. Not to plan your day, but simply to be present. You might be surprised how powerful it feels, especially when the world around you feels louder every day. Helen's habit grew over time. She eventually started doing her breathing near the window, with the sun rising behind the trees. She placed her hands gently on her lap. Sometimes she whispered affirmations. Other days, she just breathed. But what remained the same was her presence. and that's what helped reawaken her mind. Many older adults think memory is all about recall. But the truth is, memory begins with attention. You can't remember what your mind didn't fully receive. Breathing trains your attention. It strengthens the bridge between your awareness and your memory. That's what Helen discovered, and it's what so many of my other patients have experienced as well. This habit is more than just a technique. It's a message to your brain. I am here. I am safe. I am listening. And when your brain feels safe, it functions better. That's not theory. That's biology. You might be wondering, can something this small really make a difference? I understand the doubt, but ask yourself this. What if small is exactly what your body needs? What if less stimulation, not more, is the key to resetting your mind? If you're ready to try this, here's what I recommend. Tomorrow morning, before reaching for your phone or turning on the TV, sit quietly. Breathe in slowly through your nose. Hold for just a second. Then exhale gently through your mouth. Do this for 3 minutes. No judgment, no pressure, just stillness. And if it feels awkward at first, good. That means you're waking up parts of your brain that may have been neglected for a while. By week 3, Helen started journaling right after her breathing. She said her thoughts felt clearer, her handwriting steadier. One morning she wrote a note to herself that simply said, "I'm coming back." That sentence brought tears to her eyes, and when she shared it with me, it brought tears to mine. So now I turn to you. Are you willing to give yourself 3 minutes a day? To breathe, to reconnect, to show up for your memory and for your peace? If you've already tried something like this, I'd love to know. What did you feel? Did it help? Leave a comment and share your experience. Your story might be the inspiration someone else needs to begin their journey too. In the next part of this video, we'll explore the science behind why this simple habit works, what it does to your brain, your nerves, and your memory. You don't need a medical degree to understand it, just an open mind and a few quiet moments. Let's keep going. You're doing something beautiful for yourself. Part 3, Why it works. So now you may be wondering, how can something as simple as breathing for 3 minutes each morning have such a powerful effect on memory, mood, and clarity? Let me walk you through it, not as a lecture but as a gentle explanation of what's really happening inside your body, something every senior deserves to understand. Let's start with the brain. When Helen began her breathing habit, what she was really doing, without even knowing it, was resetting her nervous system. You see, our brains are not machines. They don't run on autopilot forever. They respond to our environment, our thoughts, and especially our breathing. When you breathe slowly and deeply, your body activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for calm, rest, and healing. It's the opposite of the fight-or-flight response, which is driven by stress and anxiety. Over time, too much stress floods the brain with cortisol, a hormone that can shrink memory centers like the hippocampus. But with slow breathing, the cortisol levels begin to drop. Blood pressure lowers, the heart slows down, and the brain finally gets the signal, "You're safe now, you can heal." This is where the magic begins. One of the key effects of this habit is oxygenation. With each deep breath, more oxygen reaches your brain. Why is that important? Because your brain is an energy-hungry organ. It uses about 20% of the oxygen you breathe, and oxygen is like fuel. It helps neurons fire, connections form, and memory centers stay active. A tired brain is often an under-oxygenated brain. Breathing helps reverse that. There's also a beautiful concept in neuroscience called neuroplasticity. It means your brain can grow, change, and adapt at any age. Yes, even in your 70s, 80s, or beyond. When you consistently focus your attention, like Helen did during her breathing habit, you're strengthening the circuits responsible for focus, memory, and awareness. You're literally rewiring your brain to function better. This doesn't require force. It doesn't require you to be a meditation master. It just requires presence. Breathing, stillness, and repetition. That's how neuroplasticity is built. Now let's talk about mental fog, something many seniors quietly struggle with. That sluggish, disconnected feeling, like your mind is wrapped in cotton. You know what you want to say, but the words take too long to come. That fog is often a result of low-grade, chronic stress, and that stress can be reversed, not overnight, but gradually, with habits like Helen's. When the nervous system calms, the frontal lobe, the thinking, reasoning part of the brain, gets more control. You feel more alert, more present, and less emotionally reactive. That's why Helen began to remember conversations, details, even the names of people she hadn't seen in years. Here's something I often share with my patients. Healing doesn't always require more medication. Sometimes, it requires more intention, more gentleness, more self-awareness. And what's more intentional than pausing for 3 minutes each morning to take care of your brain? Let me ask you, have you ever experienced a moment of clarity after a walk in nature? Or felt your whole body relax after a deep breath? That's not imagination. That's your biology doing what it's designed to do. Respond to calm, not chaos. This habit also does something deeply emotional. It gives you back a sense of control. So many seniors feel like life is just happening to them. Doctor visits, medications, memory slips, but when you choose to breathe, to be still, to show up for your mind, you're taking back that power. One breath at a time. I believe we don't talk enough about the emotional toll of memory loss. The fear, the embarrassment, the quiet grief of forgetting small things that used to feel so easy. But here's the message I want to leave you with. You are not helpless. Your brain still listens to you, and even the smallest habit can become the beginning of something extraordinary. Helen is living proof. She didn't fix everything. She's still human. She still forgets things once in a while. But she's no longer drifting. She's grounded, present, and proud of how far she's come. And now I want to ask you, are you ready to give your brain a moment of peace each morning? Have you tried a breathing habit before? If you have, what did it feel like? And if you haven't yet, what's stopping you? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I read them personally, and your story might encourage someone else. In the final part of this video, we'll gently wrap up Helen's journey and explore how you can take the first step today, even if you've never tried anything like this before. Stay with me. We're almost there. So my friends, if something as simple as 3 minutes of mindful breathing can help restore memory, improve focus, and bring back your sense of self, why not give it a try? As a health professional, working with seniors for decades, I can tell you this. The brain never truly stops growing. It just needs gentle stimulation, like this habit, to awaken again. You don't need special equipment or years of training. You only need a little time and trust in yourself. If you found this helpful, I encourage you to explore the other videos linked in the description below. We've created them specifically for you, with clear guidance on memory, joint health, better sleep, and more. Each one is designed to help you live not just longer, but stronger and more connected. Now I'd love to hear from you. What other health topics would you like me to dive deeper into? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I read each one personally, and if you know someone who might benefit from this, share it. You may be the reason someone remembers their grandchild's name tomorrow. Stay well, and remember, it's never too late to feel like yourself again.